Hello. So the other day we had a plumber out at our home, and the reason is we got a new grill and we have a gas line coming out of our home, and I know it's a super easy thing to do, but the line from the grill wouldn't fit onto the line from the house, and I didn't want to mess with it. One, because I didn't really have time, and two, because it's natural gas. So I thought we'd just have the plumber out. So we called the plumber, he came out. Actually, it was two guys, and they had a $135 minimum to come do the job, which was fine. And it probably took them 10 or 15 minutes to do the work. And they fixed it, all was done. And then the guy went out to the truck, actually both of the guys went out to the truck, and they were writing up the paperwork. And I tried to give him my credit card before he even went to the truck. He's like, no problem, I'll go write up the paperwork, I'll come back in. So I'm in my house about 10 minutes, and I walk out to the truck, and he's legitimately out there writing up the paperwork. He's got a calculator, he's adding things up, he's filling out all of the paperwork by hand. And I stand around for a few minutes, and then I finally just walk back in the house, and then he follows me in, and then I give him the credit card, and he charges the credit card, and then we chit chat for just a second. Great guy, great company, no complaints. And so I estimate at an absolute minimum, they spent 15 minutes between the time that they finished the job, filled out the paperwork, came back in, charged my card, etc. You get the idea. Plus there were two. So if you could imagine, and these guys bill at what, 120 an hour? And I don't know if it's 120 an hour for two or 120 an hour each. I'm not even sure. But if you do the math, and we've done a number of videos on this, and it's about non-billable time, that non-productive time. This is why a lot of companies do not make very good money, or they can't figure out why they're not making more money, or it's why they don't think their business is very good. And so let me give you the example math on this. He wasted 15 minutes at my job. For simplicity, I'm just going to call it 15 man minutes. It should really be 15 minutes times two guys. But let's just keep this really simple. He wasted 15 minutes at my house. Let's say through the course of the day, he wastes 15 minutes 3 more times. So he wastes a total of 1 hour for the whole day. And this is being really conservative. They bill $120 an hour. So in other words, had they not wasted an hour and they did one extra job, and they billed that one extra job at $120, that would have been $120 in profit to the company, because all the other money they earned, I'm assuming, already covered the expenses, the overhead, paying the technicians, etc. So generally, when you save wasted time, it almost all goes to the bottom line, unless you're losing money in your company. But let's just keep it simple. It almost all goes to the bottom line. So that $120 would have been profit. Now imagine the owner of this company were to make an extra $120 per day, 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year. I believe that's $30,000. I believe that's correct. If my math is wrong, the point still is valid. That's an extra 30 grand off this one crew of two guys. Now imagine if he has 5 trucks running around, and all 5 trucks are wasting 1 hour a day. That could be billed at $120 an hour. The owner's not taking home $150,000 a year in additional pay that he could be taking if he just fixed the problem of 1 hour of wasted time. And so this is a perfect example of waste. And this waste happens in every way. How you fuel the trucks, how you maintain the equipment, how they load their trucks in the morning. You can just go down the list, and there's just tons of this waste. How fast they get out of the yard in the morning. I can go on and on. Are they doing everything on paper and they're not using mobiles? Maybe they're not wasting as much time on filling out an invoice. We don't do that. We bill back at the office. But maybe the waste is happening when they're writing down start and stop times. Maybe it's happening when they're writing notes. Maybe it's happening when they're filling out paperwork for chemicals or writing notes that they leave on the door. And a lot of this stuff could be automated or simplified in some way. What I have found is you want to go through every single aspect of your company, everything that's happening. Watch your team. What are they doing? And you look for the waste, and then you work on that. And when you fix that and then you rebill that time, because now you don't have to go hire a lot of new employees, you can sell that time to the customer. Almost all of that money is profit that comes back to you. So hopefully the analogy makes sense and the example makes sense. This is why it's so incredibly important to be thinking this way and working on these things. I hope you'll apply it in your business.